Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am participating in the unpopular adult coloring opinions. So I guess I will be sharing some of my unpopular opinions when it comes to adult coloring. And let's just say some of these can be controversial. I guess that happens. But just remember, this is all for fun. It was a tag that was created by at ColorMama360. It's just based on personal experience and preference too, so keep that in mind before you rush to the comments and go, oh my gosh, I so disagree with you, because again, this is all just for fun, and I'd love to hear your unpopular opinions. That would be awesome. And then yeah, I guess we'll just go from here. So I have the list of questions next to me, and I'm just going to be working on this page, and it's kind of a double duty thing, because I'm actually repurposing this footage here, and it'll show up in my quiet coloring channel. So, fun fact. Okay, what's a super popular coloring book you just don't connect with? That's number one. Oh boy. A super popular book I just don't connect with. Well, I love Johanna Basford, and I do like her books. She's not my favorite, though. Wow, this one's going out. And so The Secret Garden, I know, is like one of the OG adult coloring books out there. Obviously, it's very popular still to this day. But yeah, that's just one that never really caught my eye. And it kind of sucked because it was one, like I said, one of the first ones to really like bring adult coloring out. So I was kind of like, well, that's a bummer, isn't it? But it is what it is. So yeah, definitely that one I would say is one that I don't connect with. I colored in it when I first started doing adult coloring, but after that I was kind of just over it. Okay. Let's see. Do you prefer simple or highly detailed pages? So that's kind of more of a depends on the situation kind of thing. Because there's times I'm in the mood for like a really detailed page. But also, yeah, gosh, I hate being like, oh, it just depends. But it's kind of true. Like, if I'm in the mood for like a mandala, I'll do a mandala, and those are pretty detailed, you know, but then there's times where I just want something simple, like right now what I'm working on. This is very, very simple. In fact, I don't think it can get much more simple than these little guys here, but yeah, it just kind of depends on my mood, I guess, because, you know, there's like Kirby books, Kirby Rosanis, that can make me a little nervous, but that doesn't mean I don't like his work. So yeah, I mean, overall, I'm kind of it's just based on my mood. Now, do you prefer colored pencils or alcohol markers? I definitely prefer colored pencils. However, I have been doing a lot more with marker lately, as you can see right here. And there's some artists I actually prefer to only do in marker, like Micah Jelena. A lot of her stuff I do in marker only, just because, I don't know, there's something about her artwork that just screams color me with a marker. So, but yeah, that's definitely one that I would say. But colored pencils for sure. Okay, is it okay to have whips or no? That one kind of made me laugh. You know, because I guess it could be something where people are like, no whips. But for me, I absolutely think that it's okay to have a whip or 5, because sometimes you will start a page with good intentions, like you plan on finishing it, but, well, you just don't, or you lose interest, or you're a little too stressed to finish that page. Like, for example, if you're working on something a little bit more tedious, you know. What's one illustrator's style that isn't for you? Gosh, I'm trying to, there's a few artists that are in, or illustrators in this, but it's basically Zendoodle. Anyone who does like Zendoodle type stuff, I just can't get into it. And there's quite a few illustrators out there that are all Zendoodly. And I've tried. I like mandalas, I just don't like Zendoodle. Do you think the adult coloring books are getting too repetitive? Depends on the artist. So like these books here I'm doing are like the super easy. This one's like a very, very easy beginner friendly book because I'm doing a beginner friendly tutorial on this one. And they can come off a little repetitive, though I will say Coco Wild's books, for the most part, with these Cute and Comfy and Cute series, they're not too repetitive. Some of the scenes might feel that way. I'm switching to my chisel. But, and then, you know, there's some illustrators that's just their style. So granted, they're going to stick to their style and not branch out. Like, so for example, Johanna Basford, you know, she did do like an ocean one and Rooms of Wonder, but really florals are her thing. And you can't really hold that against her. So, yeah. Let's see. Our limited edition slash hard. Wait, that's weird to say. Okay. Limited edition or hard to find books overhyped. I don't think so. Typically the ones that are limited edition that like I'm seeking out, for example, are ones I really want. They're not in print anymore. Like there's some of Clara Markova's first books, and those are definitely hard to find books. I wouldn't say they were limited edition. She just, you know, the company quit printing them, but that's not overhyped. There are some illustrators that I think like do have a few that are a little overhyped. But that's more, they become overhyped because of the price tag or the third party selling them, and it's not really the illustrator that was creating that overhyped appeal, you know. But yeah, I would have to say that most of the books that are hard to find or limited edition, I've never found to be overhyped, in my opinion. Are color alongs overrated or underrated? I honestly think they are underrated. I know a lot of people don't want to watch color alongs, or they're, especially if they're silent, or actually there's people that don't want to watch them if they're talking. Depends on the audience. But the thing is a live color along is where you really learn how to use your supplies, whether they're talking or not. In fact, I learned how to use Prismas watching Julie's Passion for Coloring, and she doesn't say a freaking word in any of her videos, and I still learned so much about how to use my Prismas, the blending, and all of that. And had I not done that, I actually would have never kept going with my Prismas. So yeah, I would have to say I feel like they're underrated, and just not getting enough love. All right, what's your opinion on overconsumption in the coloring world? Oh, we're gonna go there, are we? This is still a little wet. Okay, so I know this is like a touchy one because overconsumption is kind of an opinion, right? Like YouTubers like me, if we do a haul video, sometimes we get labeled as, you know, overconsumption. But at the same time, people forget we're creating content that requires us to buy these supplies. So if you don't buy them, you can't really showcase how to use a certain supply. So I truly think that the term overconsumption gets tossed around too much. Oh man, think of the comments I'm going to see below for that one. But I really do think people accuse each other of overconsumption a little bit too much. And also, there's just a lot of cute coloring supplies that come out, and sometimes you just want to collect them. But here's the thing. And again, I can't wait to see the responses to this one. It's that person's money. So who am I to sit there and tell them that they're, you know, wasting their money or spending too much? It's none of my business. It's their money. They work to earn it. Let them spend it however they want to spend it. So yeah, I feel like overconsumption is only a problem in the eyes of the person judging, and really, it's none of my business or anyone's business, because it's not like you have to buy whatever they're showing. So, what's one popular supply you don't think is worth the money? Oh, that one's easy. Posca pens. Everyone's obsessed with Posca pens, and I cannot stand them. Like when I was first doing white, everyone was like, oh, get a Posca. I cannot, they're not opaque for me. They are incredibly transparent, and I've just never been impressed. So I feel like I'm always the odd man out when I'm like, ugh, I hate Posca. All right, true or false? You don't need to swatch supplies. Believe it or not, this is a rather subjective question because it depends on the person. But if you're asking me just my opinion, false. You should swatch your supplies because they don't always match up with the lid. I mean, like, is this matching the lid? No. So you need to keep that in mind. You know, these are not going to always match up. And also you want to see how they actually perform on paper, and like how smooth they are. How does a pencil sharpen? Is it scratchy? You can tell a lot just by swatching. So I'm a big believer in swatching. I know a lot of people that don't though and just wing it, and that makes them happy. So hey, power to you. I just need a swatch book. Okay. Let's see. True or false, cute and cozy books are worth the hype. I actually just did a video on those. Yes, I believe they are most definitely worth the hype. I think they're fun. I'm actually coloring in one right now. So clearly I might be a little biased, but what I like about these books is they're simple, easy to relax to, but more importantly, these actually teach you a lot for shading practice, marker work especially. I have found these incredibly helpful when it comes to marker work and, you know, practicing my shading and all that. So I personally think they're worth every little bit of hype that they get. True or false, collecting coloring books is part of the hobby. You know, again, that is really up to the person, because I used to collect the books, and there's some that I'll never get rid of because they are kind of rare books or just books with this, you know, I have good memories with them. So I don't want to like lose those books. But I have destashed quite a bit because at one point I had a bookshelf that actually collapsed because it was too heavy. And I had so many uncolored pages. So yeah, it really just depends. But again, that kind of falls under the category of it's your money. True or false? You need social media to really be able to participate in the coloring community. False. I can't remember the last time I got into a Facebook group. I am so bad about posting on my Instagram, as many of you know. I basically post and run and forget that I posted. So yeah, no, you don't. That said, if you're not on YouTube making videos, you can still participate. You comment on other creators and people in the community, and you'd be surprised how much you interact just in the YouTube comments. But that is considered social media, I guess. But there's just, I don't know. You don't have to do it heavily. You can do it whatever way makes you happy, really. True or false? Coloring is not something you do at the same time as other stuff. False? Who says that? I take a break and I do diamond painting, and all sorts of things. So I guess yeah, I'm not going to let someone tell me that I have to only color. I can't take a break and do a diamond painting. Okay, true or false? Budget supplies are just as good as artist quality. False. Now, there are some that are good rivals when it comes to color payout and performance, but They lack the light fast ratings, and if you start getting into framing your work, selling your work, or you just want to start getting into art, or quality control actually matters to you, then you will quickly find budget supplies aren't worth it. Also, budget supplies are not available open stock, which means you run out of one pencil in your budget set. Well, guess what? Now you got to go buy a whole set to replace that one. True or false? The quantity of completed pages compromises the quality of. No. Because I have a lot of whips that I'll take a break from. I don't always have completed pages, but the ones I do complete, I feel are much more meaningful than just having a plethora of, pardon my French, half-assed completed pages just to say that I've completed a page. Which is why I'm completely fine not completing a page if I'm not ready to complete it. Okay, well, I think I got all those. So, look, we finished a page together, sort of. I mean, I had already done the berries, but actually, no, we've got to do this part. So yeah, I would love to hear your guys' unpopular opinions. I will try to remember to tag the lovely woman that created this little tag for all of us to participate in, because she should get credit where credit is due. Oh, I'm not sure I'm going to like that right there. It's too late. But yeah, I would love to see you guys participate, share your unpopular coloring opinions. But again, if you participate in this and or just watch it on anyone's channel, be nice for Pete's sake. We don't need to get snarky because you don't like someone's responses. That's kind of why it's called unpopular opinions, I would assume. But yeah, thanks guys for hanging out with me for a quick little fun tag, and I'll try to participate in these more. I've been really sloppy about it, but I'm getting better. So until next time, take care. Bye now.